Hey, it's Destiny from What's Our Destiny and happy Black History Month. This month's theme is health and wellness, so in this video we're going to be interviewing some Duke students and asking about mental health and wellness in the Black community. The Black experience in America is very different and unique in comparison to other groups. So what do you feel contributes to mental illness in the Black community?
A large part of it is intergenerational trauma, of course.
Yeah.
So the things that we used to have, the ways we had to think, the ways we had to act like during slavery may not apply anymore in this current day and age, but we still use them because that's what we were taught. So it's the same really then and now, or really time never advanced for us.
Wow. Like we put that pressure, we internalize that pressure, and then when we can't reach those extreme expectations that we put on ourselves, we start feeling, that's what kind of induces anxiety and depression and other mental health issues.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Twice as hard if you're a Black man, or like 3 times as hard if you're a Black woman, stuff like that. And I feel like that has a grip on our community, especially here at Duke. I think like we feel like we need to kind of counteract all of the negative stereotypes about like our intellectual ability and whether or not we deserve to be here because people be affirmative actioning.
Always kind of like say that Black people, Black women especially, have to be like twice as good to get like half the results and things like that. So just always having to like be good to put like produce and like have things out there that are like showing that they are able or deserving of certain things are some of the things that kind of like make mental illness like a bigger thing in the Black community.
Black people just don't receive the same amount of like healthcare or like the as good a quality in healthcare. So then that leads to a lot of things going like undiagnosed, like undetected, and like untreated. And so then it's just like a bad cycle that just continues throughout generations.
We feel the need to like prove ourselves a lot, especially in comparison to white people or even other minorities.
Mainly would be the emphasis or the focus on money as this source of like of worth, and like your productivity as your source of worth. Black people have really been simplified or broken down to how much we can produce for somebody else. It's just never enough. So paychecks come and go, bills come and go. So your happiness and your worth is really fleeting when you place that in material things.
What are your thoughts on the stigma around mental health and therapy in the Black community?
The stigma is very like unwarranted, and I think it comes from the idea that it's like very popular in the Black community that like what happens at home needs to stay at home. Don't like tell nobody our business. What's said in the house stays in this house.
And I think it's something that started with the older generation. So I feel like a lot of the Black parents, Black grandparents, if you bring up mental health disorders and like neurodivergent disorders like depression, anxiety, they're like, oh, you're fine, you have a roof over your head, like nothing is wrong with you. Attributed to slavery and how this idea that like Black people just need to push through everything, and what we're going through now is nothing compared to what our ancestors went through.
Because historically we've had to be strong and we've had to do a lot by ourselves and like just figure things out, and so I think that's carried on throughout the generations, and that we think that we have to carry so much on our shoulders and that it's not okay to ask for help.
Feeling that we have to be strong and we always have to face up and rise to every challenge.
Because we are all supposed to be so strong, and we just have been taught, be strong, don't get help, you don't need it.
And it actually originated from, the white supremacist perspective that everything that'll be viewed as a shortcoming, right? Everything that's wrong with us, right, would be innate, right? So there's no reason to even address it. Before it was mostly always about masking, being twice as better as everybody else, right? Staying respectful, staying out of people's way.
I think that we need like more Black therapists because they really like they can like sympathize like with what you're going through, or they can like understand what you're going through, and then at the same time it also does kind of feel like you're talking to like a family member, being that y'all are in like the same general community. Individual mindsets are really gonna have to change. I think it really starts with the individual, and then like it can go into like a broader getting rid of this stigma.
I see a lot of stuff on social media, a push by young people to destigmatize therapy, destigmatize issues surrounding mental health, and people exploring that more and more. I think it'll take a long time for us to get right. But I'm encouraged by this push from our generation.
It's really apparent with this generation is that people like are just tired, and I think it's okay to be tired.
100%.
I think there's just as much value and strength and doing what you need to take care of yourself rather than always presenting yourself as the most put together person. People thinking that admitting that they're vulnerable is a weakness when in fact it's a strength.
Yeah.
This generation is that we're sort of embracing that as a really healthy and accessible medium for us to work through our stuff. So that makes me optimistic. But
yeah,
continuing that trend, like having conversations like this and holding space for conversations like that.
So what do you do to take care of your mental and or your physical health?
I love to sing. It's a practice that grounds me both mentally and physically. It connects me with my family. You know, music has a meaning beyond what's on the page.
I take care of my mental health with therapy. I have a Black woman therapist in Greensboro.
Okay. My own peace and my own happiness has come from taking a step back from these responsibilities and kind of making sure that I take time to interact with my friends and taking time to sit and be with yourself really helps.
Every night before I go to bed, I play Sudoku because, I don't know, it just calms me. Feels like I accomplished something for the day. Oh, I like to sleep a lot.
Okay.
I like to take naps in class, out of class.
In class?
Okay. Sometimes.
It happens.
Yeah.
Often is playing music, listening to music and learning how to play it. I think that's like an exercise of focus and concentration.
Yeah.
That kind of helps me ground myself and then explore the emotion and the affect behind the song. I really like to cook, so trying something new.
Yeah.
Sometimes you get it right, sometimes you don't. But
trial and error. Yeah.
Slightly more like spiritual things, I guess.
Yeah.
But just shadow work, journaling, meditating. I'm trying out yoga. I've been listening to like healing frequencies and stuff. And my physical health, I try to like stretch and go for walks. And if I can walk through like the Duke Gardens or like lakes or something, I try to do that because that is usually good physically and mentally for me.
One thing that I'll do is just like I'll listen to music, like I'll quickly like pop in my headphones or like take on my vinyl, put on a record player. Just allow me to have like time to just like exist and like breathe, because like we don't be doing that a lot. In terms of like physical, like I run track, I have fun doing that. So
yeah. So what's your destiny?
Now I'm really leaning towards law, specifically criminal justice law, civil rights law.
To become a child psychologist, we have to start with the children so that people don't grow up with like various problems that go undetected, untreated, and then it's like they don't really know what to do when they get older. I think it's really important to start working with children.
To have a fuller understanding of myself and my relationships around me.
My destiny is to help and inspire others.
Okay, so my destiny is to be a policy advocate.
So every day is a blessing. Waking up every day is a blessing. What I hope to be destined for is a life where I'm always caring for others and giving back.
Is becoming the district attorney of the Special Victims Unit. Just help special victims, as in like women and children with special victims crimes, as in sexual or racial or whatever that may entail.
To be at peace, and also like I feel like some creative endeavor is gonna kind of like take over and be what I end up doing with my life. So just like building community, and whether that's like with family or friends or my own sisters or anything, like I want to have like cultivate a huge community of support.
Disrupting and making space for people like me with art.
I really want to go into like acting and directing, and I think one of the main jobs of like actors and like directors and people in that industry is, number one, letting people know that their stories matter, that their voices matter, 100%. That their like experience are 100% valid, making sure that I create a space where people feel that they are like deserving of like life and like happiness. So
my destiny is to help people. So career-wise, that I want to be a clinical psychologist, help people live their best lives, and kind of diminish people's mental battles. I don't want to see people losing the battle to suicide anymore. So and like be a support system for different people, and especially like young Black women.
Destiny really, I want to be a physical therapist, but in my practice, I hope to incorporate mental health aspects to physical health, because mental health and physical health aren't separable. They're really inseparable. And that's something that's really missing from healthcare.
Finding a position or career within the intersection of political science, psychology, and education, maybe somewhere in policy, but I know I just want to impact the lives of our youth because that's where it begins.
I don't think anyone's destiny is a career. I think everyone's destiny is like what you do, like just generally. And I think that my destiny is just like being the change that I want to see. That's something that I like try to live by, and that's something that I hope to continue doing in the future.
I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching, and happy Black History Month from
At What's Our Destiny?
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 At What's Our Destiny? At What's Our Destiny?